then Zoe really can set you up to get some picks and get control back around the map at a time where it's really, really hard to find that control. The Elise is going to come in here for Dread. So Afreeca Freecs following the game plan that we're talking about with a bit of late game insurance in the Corki and the Sivir.
And the Elise does just mean that Sona Tom is having a happy old time in the bot side. Not to know, but Dread to me is either going to be the MVP of this game or one of the central reasons they don't win, because he hasn't picked a team fighting jungler for later with Sivir. He's picked an Elise to get somewhere going.
Yeah, and is he going to be able to help the mid lane as well? Because we mentioned the Lucian counterpick into the Corki was an option. It's going to be the Zoe this time. Let's hear from the fans. Afreeca fans in full voice wanting this team to turn things around from what was a difficult game before, and they're starting real early. We mentioned that things could go wrong real fast in this game, and it's already happened at 38 seconds in the game.
What did Papa and Atlas ask for? A level 1 plan. How about 5 guys coming in? The big hook man hits the first one, and suddenly everyone's real stressed on the side of DAMWON Gaming.
Yep, the plan is put your face in it, Papa Smithy, and I like the plan a lot. No one's going to die, but Canyon does have to get out, and that means a lot of those deep wards that they would have wanted to put down are going to be more difficult, especially on the top side. So, very deep ward goes down for the Afreeca Freecs, but DAMWON only get one on that blue buff, and will be a little bit blind to where Dread's going to be pathing in the early game, which is fantastic for the Afreeca game plan.
So I used the Hearthstone analogy last year for funnel games. I feel the same way about Sona Tom Kench. It's very Miracle Rogue. It's very, I'm going to do my thing, and if I get everything in order, I auto-win because I have more wards, because of the on-hits, because Sona is so powerful in the late game. What was the counter to Miracle Rogue? Was smorking in the face, was being aggressive, was getting in there with your Lepanome and seeing what happens later. And that's what we're hoping to see from Afreeca. The level 1 start, getting a summoner, is a good one. Level 1 trade is actually pretty bloody between Showmaker and Yukal.
Yeah, they're getting real aggressive up against one another right now. So we're checking in on some of the keystones. Nothing to really write home about, but Resolve Tree second coming in for the Corki, I think is a strange one. Dread going to utilize that little bit of extra surprise factor that he managed to glean from that level 1, but isn't going to be able to find any joy here onto the 200 health Showmaker. Good ward went down just over that ward, so he's going to be A-OK.
Worth mentioning that I think Showmaker's play on the Zoe was never super impressive in Spring. Kind of fits into the kind of...
Yeah, he played it a lot, but not necessarily outplayed on it a lot.
It's one of those, he could play it, but you were never, like, enthused, like you were when BDD was locking in the Zoe. So given that, it doesn't fit into, say, the Akali outplays that he saw in the last game that we saw from him, his big Akali plays against Kingston Dragon X. Yes, you can be very slippery on Zoe, but she's largely about siege timings and one-item timings rather than teamfight outplays. So we'll wait and see if that kind of shift in ethos from Showmaker has a knock-on effect to some of the other areas. Interestingly, both Nogari and Showmaker doubling down on lane power with Summoner Harry.
Yep, going to be taking the area just to try and get themselves through this early game as best as possible. We're going to see once again a return to Kleptomancy on the Sona. It feels like week 4, the LCK has figured out that maybe the area is a little bit too slow.
You know, it definitely worked in scrims, right? That's why people were doing it, and I know people have questioned it. It's way stronger if you can get away with it. You shouldn't get away with it.
Zenon dives in, but doesn't land the dredge line onto Beryl. Eventually picks himself up his Aftershock, so he's going to be fine. This is what we wanted, though. Dread being active in the early game. Nogari's going to get cocooned. Great knock-up comes in from Keen as well. He's still got the flash. He's going to use it, but Keen's going to flash to follow. They now don't have too much of an inroad, but Dread just turns into lady form and picks up first blood.
And crucially, he doesn't get a 2-for-1 flash trade that we've seen Nogari draw before, so Elise will have her flash if she tries to back up the top lane gank with a bot lane one. Jace's ability to push up and be a nuisance goes way down when Flash is down, and the best he gets is a trade of flashes against his top laner opponent.
The thing I really love about this is that Afreeca were all in on this play. There were so many camps on the top side of the map. Dread had fallen vastly behind when it comes to farming out his jungle. They needed that to work, and thank goodness for Afreeca fans it did.
What will be the tonic for bot lane? Because killing a Jace is nice. Getting Sona and Tom Kench behind feels much more like a core win condition. We were very surprised yesterday when we saw Ghost in a matchup against Sona Tom not going Executioner's Calling early. That was a deft pickup that's now kind of reverberated around the LCK scene. Just getting it first because those early Sona heals are cut into nothingness with the early Grievous wounds, and it even affects Tom Kench, right? And his ability to healthy regenerate through Grey Health. So waiting to see the buy timing here from Aiming, and also the first visit from Dread, because he must be feeling good after picking up First Blood.
Yeah, he's going to continue farming out his jungle here, try and get some rubber banding happening, as hadn't taken his chickens or his Krugs. So he's going to be able to do that. Spotted out there by Canyon on the J4.
Tom is CS really well.
Yeah.
Actually within 7 of Sivir, which is a very nice health total here. Aiming kind of blowing all his mana to push in, but turret plates when you have a melee support next to you are much less realistic. Remember, we need to answer, and we should return to this over the game. Why not Lux instead of Nautilus? Because Lux gets those autos in, gets turret plates, kind of you punch in without even jungle help. Nautilus is much more for turret dive, and is going to find it much harder to get turret plates. So watch on and see if that's kind of a Sennen issue champion pool-wise. That might be the way with one of our younger supports.
Dre going to be turning up towards the bottom side of the map. In goes Sennen actually as Barrel down very low. Note that Aiming did not pick up the Executioner's calling. So he is going to come back to lane.
Is that turret dive?
Pickaxe as well as a longsword. But like you say, yeah, they're trying to get in here. Sennen, it's all on you, buddy. Can you actually land this one? Flashes forward to get the concussive blows. No Grey Health is going to be an option. This will be the double kill, and Sennen tanks the turret beautifully with his aftershock.
And don't you love it when a plan comes together? Why Nautilus? Prove it. Well, damn it. We prove it right in front of our faces. Canyon's slow. He should have been bot lane earlier, I think, in the moment, because both junglers almost met on the minimap. Canyon not there. 2 kills to Afreeca.
And you were saying that there's going to be a magnifying glass on Dread. Well, that is 3 kills already, 6.5 minutes into the game. I think the Elise game plan has been working fantastically so far.
And we see it up and down. It's not always an LCK standard pick because we don't always have a lot of action, but Dread in interviews says, I'm an LPL-style jungler. I watched Peanut in 2016. They close in on the minion wave after they've bought the most AD possible, pickaxe and longsword. Flash in from center, no skill shot duking allowed. And Dread, well, he already had the first kill, so he does the lion's share of the damage on the oh-so-squishy zone.
And also threaded a cocoon through a minion wave to land it onto the Sona also. So that's going to add some insult to injury here. Didn't even need to invest the flash in that play. Incredible stuff from our Elise jungler, and it's great to see Dread really taking control after a difficult week 3. And once again, we're going aggressive. Tip the boomerang lands onto Nuclear there, as you'll need a lot more celerity to get out of the way of this bottom lane.
Now, we've been really impressed with Afreeca. We kind of gave them homework, and they were able to pass that with flying colors. Dread continues his super aggressive play. What I want to put out there is kind of a formulation on where DWG Gaming is. He'll walk up here and should be able to get away. Where DWG Gaming might trip up. What teams might attack her out on DWG Gaming. What Nofe might have seen when he gave advice to Afreeca. And it's the idea that we have a lot of junglers who are there for the counter gank in Korea. A lot of smart junglers who are there.
Yep.
I believe that Canyon's pathing from ahead when Nogari, say, gets some kills and he can just go to that lane or just camp bot lane and Nogari's going to win alone is solid. I think DWG Gaming actually do fall a bit behind, fall a bit apart when they fall behind around top side because Canyon doesn't read the map particularly well. And the fact that he just was doing his Raptors while bot lane was being dived and wasn't even there at the end to try to force something shows you that he was completely disconnected by the pace of the game. Because we saw this Afreeca coming from the draft, and it feels like DWG Gaming have been surprised by it.
Yeah, the memo was slightly missed from them by the looks of things. This turret going to go down relatively low as Aiming's looking to try and pick up the local gold if the plate does come down, and he does grab it. 160 there solo for the Sivir, wanting to get himself towards his Essence Reaver as quickly as possible. Almost has that one completed with his Warhammer and pickaxe already done.
See if that Execution's calling ever does fit in. Again,
I really hope it does. I mean, we got pretty triggered yesterday about that not ever being purchased.
Afreeca onto another lovely Drake for them. Corki and Sivir throwing out boomerang blades. Rockets, oh my, bot lane, what is going in?
Yep, Yukal, he's going to get exhausted. That's a great 3-man crescendo, though, as DWG are desperate to try and turn this around. Yukal is going to be able to flash away. No kills just yet as the cocoon does land. An insta-pop on the no aftershock Nautilus. Dread has to flash to get out of the way. Thank goodness he didn't need it for that play before. Repel's going to get him into the air, but is he out of danger just yet? I think so. As DWG, they grabbed their first kill. As Showmaker, he managed to counterfeit that flash. Didn't have to invest his own.
Well, Afreeca Freecs show why we also have to leave open the fact that they can beat anyone and they can lose to anyone. They super hard all-in onto the fight after Nautilus walked up. While they still had to kill the damn Drake, she couldn't be backing them up. They go super, super deep. Showmaker responds well, and it almost became a shooting gallery by the end. Consider how this starts. Sennon's in a ward. Afreeca don't know that, of course.
Yeah.
And so when they walk up here, Canyon's already prepped, Zoe's on the way, and Elise was killing Drake, so they're really, really scattered. And how they do this, they're not tanky by any means at this moment into the game. It's a bit of a donation map. It only ends up being Sennon to start, but it's also kind of the full load of summoners, defensive summoners from Afreeca as well.
And a lot of their offensive tools not going to be there either. The fact that Dread doesn't have any flash cocoon opportunities now on this Elise is actually quite dangerous. Just noting there the Spiderling's usefulness
We're zooming out,
dealing with a Zoe. As we're looking at Keen making his way down. Nogari's here. We've got 5 members of DAMWON in this Shelly pit. They take down the Rift Scuttler. Dread still thinking about oh, and he steals it! Able to get himself out onto that ward as well as Keen has the World Ender. Doesn't have a reset just yet, but DAMWON don't want to fight this one. They lost their objective, and now they have to leave.
Canyon was trying to outplay. Remember, a lot of players will try to aggro the Rift Herald, try to hide the backside because you get the 1500 guaranteed damage, and go for auto smite at the right time. Because he went for the auto first, Dread just got in with the smite and was able to take it down, so tried to outplay their Canyon, but the next level from Dread, and he's just been all over the place in this early game, and a big reason why Afreeca is still in a very solid spot.
Yep, I have a feeling that Dread's a little bit upset that his MVP is now tied with Summit and wants to rectify that situation, and with an early game like this, he's definitely getting there.
Yeah, you want to hit the eye smite, but the eye is hit too early, and the smite comes in from Dread. Nicely done there. He reads it just as well as Canyon was trying to bait. Return to normalcy, aiming. Has his Essence Reaver, but no cutting down of the healing. And I believe the transformation was around the 10-minute mark as well. Face check.
Yeah, going to face check that Cocoon as Dread will have to go up into the sky. Keen's down here. He's going to get some knock-ups immediately. As soon as Dread comes down, he's looking to go into stasis as Nogari will have the Shock Blast. They easily take down the Spider, but can Keen get his reset? The answer is no. Doesn't even have World Ender active at the moment as the Umbral Dash is going to get him to safety. Really nicely done there from DAMWON.
I'm clapping because we're getting skill checks everywhere between our mechanics crews, and it's a joy to watch. The ult comes in from Canyon because Showmaker was responding first, and they hoped that he would be able to hit a Trouble Bubble. It doesn't happen. We come back to mid lane. No huge CS leads in any lane at all, and Showmaker, he's feeling good.
Yep, Yukal just about had that cleanse back available, but instead sacrifices half of his health bar. Shelly's going to get spawned towards the bottom side and should be able to get a bunch of turret plates here for Keen, and will be able to grab that first turret as well as the Aatrox is moving down there. Shelly sets up, see you later turret. And that's a whole lot of gold now onto this top laner. We'll have close to 1,000 gold lead as that topples.
And now it just feels like there's going to be that kind of time pressure. The sand clock is going to be happening there where before Seraph's is done on the Sona, you can just see this Aatrox just blast everyone and win teamfights kind of alone by how much gold he's had funneled into him. After that comes in and the exhaust is on point, etc., it's going to be more tricky, but there's going to be that solid kind of 15 to 27 minute mark where Sona won't have 2 items done, and Aatrox is going to have his core done real soon.
And I have a feeling, I think it's between 15 to 25 minutes. That's when Afreeca need to get a solid advantage and basically win this game. That's what they've set up this composition to do. And if Showmaker keeps doing that, which is why the Zoe pick was so smart, it becomes really difficult. Because even if he's just chunking people out, even if they're not necessarily getting picks and getting kills, if he's sending people home, then DAMWON will have that man advantage, which should be able to get them over the line.
Is it just me, or every time Zoe hits with kind of the max range Trouble Bubble into Battlestar combo, doesn't it feel like the doctors told you they're going to prick you with the needle?
It feels like Vertigo.
You know it's coming, and yet you're still getting that really visceral reaction as Yukal.
Yeah, he's going to be able to a package.
Remember, he does get to override any CC with the special delivery, so always has a way out there. It's going in!
Yep, there's the flash. Canyon's going to get 2 flashes out immediately, and that's another max range Trouble Bubble. It's going to get the repel out from Dread, who just pops He is so incredibly squishy, and now a very late teleport comes in from aiming. A lot of damage here from the Sivir, trying to land the autos just on the edge of the crescendo, but I just don't think it's going to be enough as Yukal wants to be able to get this one. Beryl's holding onto his grey health for so damn long, and Nogari from downtown picks up the kill. Beryl is able to eventually activate that shield in the nick of time. That's the ace for DAMWON. That's the outplay that Afreeca wanted to do at this stage of the game.
Exactly, the timing makes it so important, so big for a Sonacomp to win a team fight at this time. They can't deal with nuclear. They don't get the blood while active on Keen. They go down. This game shifts once again, and it's going the way of DWG Gaming.
Yep, and it's finally a gold lead, but that gold lead feels so much bigger as we're going to have a look at DWG perfectly navigate this
Credit
fight.
to Canyon, who EQ flash Rs. He's not doing it for damage. He's saying, this is the time, we have to fight now. Sivir's teleport is late, Soda's already there and grouped, and that just means nothing slides into play because they don't have the movement speed from aiming. Keen isn't in a great spot to get that first kill. The outplays come in, the Tahm Kench devour, so important. If Keen dies, so do a lot of Afreeca's hopes in the early team fights.
And you can see Yukal just couldn't get that Sheen proc. Nogari just from over the wall takes down the Sivir, and Beryl was holding onto that grey health for approximately forever. Until he guaranteed that it was going to keep him alive.
Great initiation, he says, for the EQ flash R from Canyon. Canyon thoroughly out-jungled in the early game, but plays like that can salvage you out when you have this Gathering Storm combo or something like the Sona carry and great synergy around it. The amount of bailout that provided, the gold lead is almost gone. Jace is now able to go back to the side lane and will have his flash back up soon. A lot of normalcy is reverted purely because DWG Gaming chose a primo time to force a fight.
Yep, it's also going to make things way more difficult for the Afreeca Freecs to navigate what was already going to be that omen of dread down on top of them. No pun intended, of course, but
almost
dread giveth, dread taketh away. Feels like the story.
He's alone.
He's going to get up in the air with the rappel, but immediately comes back down again. He has nowhere that he can go, and
that was bad.
That was a caster curse that I apologize to the Afreeca Freecs for, to be perfectly honest, because he went from being man of the match to a liability very quickly.
That was really bad. If you consider the terrain where he died, it's not controlled by them. The wave wasn't in position for him to turret dive, and he was hanging around a corner rather than even threatening a turret dive. Just collapsed upon by 4 people who knew about his presence. So, Dread giveth, Dread taketh away. I think Omen of Dread is a pretty good thing for this young jungler who can be so fearsome. His early game here was a treat to watch, but now the game state changes, and just like Canyon wasn't reading the bot lane dive, Dread hasn't read the memo that actually he better be, backed up by his teammates fast, otherwise he pops just as quick.
Damn right he does. Extraordinarily quickly, and he's got a broken stopwatch, so he's not going to be going golden anytime soon. Will be building towards Azonia's at some point, but wants that Oblivion Orb first. Wants to be able to do as much burst damage if they catch someone. Speaking of catching, Infernal Chains come in. Beryl has to pop the Grey Health very early, but it is enough to keep him alive. Canyon coming in from the side just to lend a hand, and DWG once again stave off the Afreeca engage.
And they can't even force summoners from it either, Atlas. The flash still up on Beryl under the turret. Very, very optimistic to pick up a kill with the 4-man collapse there on a Tahm Kench, especially. Tahm Kench 1,300 gold ahead because he was doing farming earlier. Beryl loves this build. He loves the front line. I'm going to get in there and start lathering you with my tongue. Righteous Glory build, and it's coming soon.
Yep. He's going to be a very, very fast catfish, Bob Smithy. You're exactly right. Yukal clearing out this wave topside, but he has to be a little bit careful about old man Jace making his way in. Nogari's going to bash him around a little while. Nuclear is going to turn up. And Nogari's just going to get the solo kill.
Nogari's Jace, whatever the items. Remember, he doesn't have double lethality. He does have the serrated Dirks, but he doesn't have the full completion on both the Yomus. And from there, the Duskblade. He just one-shots him, basically. Soda couldn't even get in for an assist.
Yeah, I believe I was trying to give him the Song of Celerity buff to try and get an assist, but unfortunately that's not going to work.
Soda mechanics a little bit off on Nuclear. Back to the practice tool for him. Wait, no, he can't go to the practice tool because of Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah, sorry. Teamfight Tactics preventing all that from happening. Can't even go into a custom game unless he gets 9 friends to come with him.
Look, so the Korean release is, I believe, tomorrow morning. You know what we're going to have to be on the lookout for?
What's that?
On the practice PCs here. Who's practicing teamfight tactics and who's practicing League at LoL Park? We will update you on the first kind of red-handed defender.
Yeah, we've had a few conversations about this. I have a feeling that a lot of our LCK players are going to be a little bit more disciplined than this. But
you
look,
say disciplined?
I've been surprised in the past.
You say disciplined, I think the belts will be out on that one.
Yeah, I mean, none of the Griffin players are going to be playing. I guarantee that. CV Max,
nope.
he definitely drills hard, and you ain't going to want to test him.
Well, DWG Gaming testing Afreeca here. Afreeca had the really nice start they needed to justify the draft, but how many Elise comps have kind of gone this way over history, right? Where you get that great start. All right, it's all sliding into spot, but Elise goes from one-shotting anyone to being one-shotted in grouping phases when wards come into play. So right now, at least, how can Dread get back into this game? Misses a cocoon.
Doesn't get hit by the trouble bubble, so he's going to be alive. There's the accelerated shock blast. Sennin in trouble. Package delivered. Nuclear's going to turn up. Full health bars here for DAMWON. Lots of shielding and lots of control. Dread now does have a flank position. But they are aware of this. On the hunt has been popped now from aiming. Dodges the trouble bubble. Cataclysm goes in. It's a decent crescendo, but not exactly the best. But it doesn't seem to matter. DAMWON have got the first kill. Keen not going to be able to get the reset off this one as aiming gets chunked out so easily. Yucal just the very edge. He's trying to be the hero here for the Afreeca Freecs, but he's going to get bubbled. He has to flash. Showmaker grabs the Sivir, and now the re-engage is on. They've just got so much safety, so much health. In the backline is Dread, but he eventually falls down. Delicious is the Corki. And that's close to another ace as Keen comes back.
Another really entertaining fight there. While the crescendo couldn't turn into a kill, it stunned Keen, and it also stunned, I believe, Yucal or aiming. It was two threats that were stunned at the same time, and that was enough for them to turn onto the first kill. Back away. We're going to watch the replay now. Under the turret, getting this turret down, opening up objectives, what they do. And Canyon, once again, that was R into EQ out. Ambition at world style. Ends up, he's owning aiming's positioning. Yucal and Keen stunned. So actually there was no damage and no punishment when they turned onto the front line. Actually, everyone played their role really well for DWG Gaming. That wasn't just smash your hands on the keyboard, Sonu's going to carry you style. That was very much good target selection from DWG. Getting the first kill, and like you say, this catfish was hungry, and he got his feed.
He certainly did. And now DWG are in full control of this game. The fact that they have a 2.2k gold lead, they're very close to item number 2 for Nuclear. He's got himself his boots completion, looking for that Lichbane as that second item choice, and that Seraph's transformation has come in. He has even a gold bounty on top of his head, and if you have a look at those bounties, Nuggery very close to maxing his out. 4, 1, and 6 on the Jace. And that's when you know that DWG are in a very comfortable position.
They are in a really intriguing part of the game. Something small I want to draw your attention to is that Canyon has gone for a build you very rarely see. First real item after Cinderhulk is actually into Adaptive Helm. It's actually into Magic Resist. Now, we all know about Corki's magic damage, crits, etc. Those items aren't done. Consider that Aatrox and Sivir are going to just blast him if he chooses the wrong time to go in. He doesn't have a stopwatch. He's going to have to REQ out. You know, he kind of has to play to his items. Yes, he doesn't get poked, so you could look at this as, well, I walk up, the Q and R from Corki, the Spider from Elise, I can ignore those and get my engage on. But when it comes to being tanky against the lineup he's facing right now, that item actually does very little. So another kind of can you play to win condition is established here, because Canyon's tanky to a point, but not tanky on another level.
But also now he's just going to be an engage tool, right? It feels almost like a later game warrior Jarvan who is going to melt as soon as that fight starts. But what Canyon now has is more of an ability to weather the poke before that happens.
And that's what we're getting to. But what if you choose the wrong time, he has to get devoured, and then someone dies?
Disaster.
Sona can be the person that falls if they choose the wrong engage timing with the magic resist build.
Yeah.
Because the Devour gets used on someone else, so there's a lot more susceptible to dying then. We'll wait and see. It's an evolving question. I like the fact that we've just had no time to theme in this broadcast has always been things happening, and here's more.
Yep, Nogari looking for it, gets the boot back.
Beautiful.
Oh my god,
Delightful.
Showmaker. I don't know how he managed to figure out exactly where it was going to be, but smacked into the beach ball and taken down. Keen is looking silly in another series, but I have a feeling it's all about DAMWON just looking too damn good.
I mean, this was basically volleyball being played by Showmaker and Nogari.
Yeah,
Hammer
man.
hit him into the beach ball. I don't think Keen even signed up for this course, but he eventually was transported into Runeterra-inspired beach ball hell, where he goes down. So really nicely done by DAMWON, and Nogari's always on the fast fingers when it comes to the aggressive uses of the hammer hit.
Yeah, also able to take down a turret and then instantly turn that one into a kill, and then an inhibitor on the bottom side of the map so they can get towards the Baron that's already been up for 4 minutes. They lose this outer turret in the mid lane, but I think they'll probably take that one as an acceptable loss.
So, Keen has had a bit of a roughie once again, and yet, with his items where they are, he's still the way they win this game.
Yes.
Or at least win the next team fight and stay in the game. Because we're kind of one team fight win or a Baron buff claim from DAMWON from kind of the lockout state, where it doesn't matter how big Keen might be. Comp gets into an awkward spot. Double Infinity Edge now done. Yukao has that one picked up. There is a lot of burst damage. The theory of someone stunned by... Oh, we'll talk about someone stunned.
Yep, the Cataclysm is there. Aiming doesn't have flash just yet. That timing was amazing. That's going to mean the Shock Blast cleans up the kill. The whole bottom lane has been eviscerated. And DAMWON should turn to the Baron here and claim it pretty easily.
It's so big that they get the pick out. That's what we were just about to say. What if double IE crits into Aatrox, gets that first reset, and they win a fight? Doesn't matter if you get the first pick. They're onto the Baron. Dread is alive. Gonna have to be a big steal here.
Yeah, it's just been breathless play here from DAMWON, even though they have the slower moving composition. Beryl just lying in wait as the explosion of AoE damage flies forward. Dread is definitely just going to be food for this DAMWON squad as Nogari, the sidestep was amazing. To the skies is going to come in, and Dread has to back underneath his turret. In the meantime, the Baron is taken by the other 3 members of DAMWON Gaming.
DAMWON Gaming continue to lap up advantages. This feels like one that can't be turned around by Afreeca anymore. They're not going to have any leash to do so. The Stain from the Sona, the Lich Bane is in, the Lockout is in. DAMWON Gaming, do they win now? Do they win later? We'll get to find out very soon.
It's going to be their decision, Papa Smithy. They're going to push in, grab their second inhibitor. Showmaker still just toying with Afreeca. Lands a Trouble Bubble, max range onto Dread there, as you could see. This is a pop-off Showmaker Zoe performance today. The question mark was on him. What was he going to choose into this composition? And it's been pivotal that the Zoe was the decision so far.
But I'm actually going to not just single out one person and compliment them like it's usually the way with DAMWON. Is this Showmaker's time to win an MVP? Is this going to be their top laner's time to win an MVP? Instead, what about the decisions they're making? They are not making dumb decisions around objectives. They are understanding when the enemy comp is strong and when they need to make their move. They go for a pick rather than Baron bait, knowing they have the tools to do so. These are the parts that DAMWON have tripped on in the past. We already knew they had very talented players. Being top 10 in Korean solo queue as consistently as they are is already the spoiler on that. But putting it together into more is the part where you suddenly jump up and say, 5-match win streak, adding Afreeca to a list of opponents that include teams like SK Telecom T1 and most recently Kingzone. Now DAMWON Gaming, they really are looking like an exciting 5-man team.
Yep, it's feeling like the real deal, and just the way that they've played this game makes them feel like a top team here in the LCK. This has been very clean, very intelligent, very disciplined League of Legends, and playing a composition that's been hit or miss from a lot of our other squads. The last remaining inhibitor, the last bastion of hope for the Afreeca Freecs as they're desperately trying to hold on. But it just feels like they're fighting the biggest uphill battle ever. The Cocoon landing means absolutely nothing as Canyon is standing stalwart in defense of his team. He can just do this, just flex his muscles on his Commando J4 while they poke them out and take down the turret.
He's ready to go behind enemy lines if he sees an opportunity, but with all these minions, he doesn't need to EQ our flash. Like he was earlier. Hope comes in. They can get 2 minion waves here. Best of luck, Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one. We do have the Baron still there on the hunt. Has been popped defensively here by the Afreeca Freecs. This is their last stand. This is their last attempt. Senin does land a dredge line. We've got Beryl in the back line, though, as Assassin Tom Kench. It's going to be the stun onto Key, but he gets back onto the fountain. Afreeca not dying as quickly as you'd want, but their Nexus turrets are being evaporated. Yukao gets taken out, and this will be the game for DAMWON Gaming. What an incredible start to this series, and we knew that this is going to be an exciting one, but it lived up to it in execution.
And it's nice to see that Afreeca showed up early. We loved what they did with their execution, but we had that air of doubt. How could they actually stay in the game if it went longer?
And I hope your queue time was about as long as that match, because not missing it is certainly going to be a very positive thing in your life. In the end, it was a 10,000 gold lead, a very considerable one here for DAMWON Gaming, and of course, Nogari's going to top the damage. It was a decent effort there from aiming on the Sivir, but honestly, it felt like an afterthought towards the end. Having only 14k on the Corki is a big story, but the 6.6 there on Keen's side really just shows that Nogari had his way with the matchup, and Keen couldn't find his way in despite all of that gold in the early game being funneled into that top lane pick.
Well, the fun never ends, whether it's in your queue for Teamfight Tactics or for game number 2. It's going to be after this break. Let's get to it.
Yep, exactly right. We'll come back to introduce you into our next in-queue entertainment matchup, and I hope it's as entertaining as game number 1 was. Stick around.